in 2011 and served as SGA president my senior year. I will be moderator this evening along with Mr. Mason Edmonds, who served right after me for the 2011-2012 year. We will be moderators this evening. They've asked the old people to come in this evening. What will happen is we've kind of got our outline. We'll have opening statements, and then we'll have a series of questions. Dre will move around the room with the microphone to have you all ask questions to the candidates, and then Mason and I will also ask questions, and then we'll conclude the evening once all questions have been asked, and we'll move on. So we thank you all so much for coming out this evening, and let's go ahead and get started. If the candidates will come on up. I do.
What? Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
I don't care who goes first. It really doesn't matter.
I'll call tails. Rolling dice.
You'll go first? All right.
So we're starting
A 3-minute opening statement. Yes, ma'am.
do you guys want me to stand and sit?
Doesn't matter. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Yell it.
Okay. Well, my name is Lauren Miller, and I'm a junior here at King. Okay. I'm majoring in biology, and I'm minoring in security and intelligence studies. And I don't know if you've all seen me on campus. I'm so sorry about all the flyers everywhere, but we just have to get that up. Anyways, so I'm sure, as you all have noticed over the past few months, King has been described as toxic. The environment was a little bit, very toxic, very hectic. And with the resignation of Dr. Jordan, it's now time for SGA to step up. And this is a crucial time in our lives. We want to make sure that the student voices are heard and that we don't go back to where we were. And, Bo Pogoff and I, my vice president, we want to make sure that you all are involved in every aspect of SGA and that your voices are heard, your concerns are heard, and that we are constantly advocating for you all. So the 3 points that we came up with were transparency, capability, and community. And we believe that these describe what we want for the SGA, what we want for you all. Transparency, first of all, was something that, as we saw in the administration, that was something that they lacked. There was all these secrets, there was constant turmoil between relationships between administration and faculty and students, and we don't want that. We want to make sure that you all can come to us with any concern that you have. We have an open connection and relationship with you all, that you all know who to go to with your concerns, with your ideas. So this involves making sure that you know who your senators are and that they are working for you, that they're showing up to meetings, that they're actually doing their job, and that they're holding myself and Bo and the rest of the cabinet accountable. We want to make sure that there's an open line of communication. As well, we also want to advocate for regular scheduled meetings with presidents, the choosing of an interim president, or the choosing of a president, as well as with the interim president, even the choosing of a new chaplain, which is coming up right now. Our next point was capability, and I think that, as you've seen in the debates, Bo and I are extremely capable people. We were both residents and commuters now. I'm a science major and he is a history, poli-sci major. We're both KSI, so we have a wide range of the humanities. But we were also really involved in the changes at King. Bo was very involved with Leonardo's Sleep, which, as you all know, you couldn't avoid it on Facebook. There were 1,400 likes. That was the largest social movement on campus. And I myself was kind of working behind the curtain. I've lived in Bristol my whole life, and I've made a lot of connections with Board of Trustee members, and was kind of working on the side, making sure that they knew what was going on campus. So I do have a personal relationship off campus with those Board of Trustee members, as well as the faculty on campus. I'm very close with them and making sure that I was relaying messages appropriately. And finally, our last point was community. And I think that this is absolutely crucial as we come into this new time for SGA. Everybody wants that college experience here at King. And that's what I think every past president has wanted, was a sense of community for all. Traditional, for commuters, for online, anybody. And I think that's what we want to create. We want to make sure that clubs are, actively involved on campus instead of dying off. We want to make sure that if you have an idea, you can come to us and your ideas can be shared and put to good use. We want to make sure that you know how to start stuff up and that you're fully supported and you are well guided. So that's our overall plan for King. And if you all have any ideas or any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us at any time during this, because we're really excited for where the new King can go.
My name is Don McGregor. I'm a music major and also a security and intelligence studies minor. My vice president, Andrew, is, I believe, a sciences major, minor in education, and he has an interest in ministry. We're both commuters, and our story is actually kind of an odd one. See, I was a French minor, but then my department sort of got shut down overnight after myself personally being told, oh no, we wouldn't do that. I used to be one of the apathetic ones here on campus. I was the one that said, oh, what does it matter? You know, the school will take care of itself. And then I realized a lot about myself. See, we moved to Bristol, my family and I, moved to Bristol in 1995 to pastor at a church here in town. So I knew a lot of the faculty members since 2002. I've known a lot of these people since before Jordan even took office. I can remember a time when there was still toxicity in the area. Unfortunately, it hasn't improved too much. But at the same time, there was a lot of freedom of expression. There was a lot there that really attracted me to the place, even at a young age. And growing up on this campus, I've always sort of considered this place more of a home than anything else. So, you know, when the music department was rumored to be going away, and when the French department did go away, well, long story short, you don't attack my home and not hear something from me, and I became very active. Granted, a lot of my work wasn't necessary with We Are Not Asleep, but I was the one out in the protests, standing in the snow, holding a very poorly drawn We Are Not Asleep sign. My passion for this school stems from a lot of my childhood and my upbringing. What I want to accomplish here is very simple. Unify. Get some people in, get people involved and interested in this place again. And try and reestablish that spirit of King that I fell in love with even back in the early 2000s at age 10. We'll start by making more aware the representatives, start going door to door with others. And as we go through the debate, you'll sort of hear more about what I have planned. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. I'll take the first one. Go ahead.
All right, to open things up, I'll start off. Specifically, both of you are talking about bringing the campus together, rallying around the stuff that's happened recently, and you guys are talking about all these various things that you're going to do. I would like to know specifically what plans do you have to actually increase the involvement, the senator involvement, the student involvement within SGA, and by that I mean I've been a part of an SGA where there's rules where you have senators that are getting kicked out if they don't show up, and then I've been a part of one where you don't even know that someone's a senator. And both were still needing more involvement. So beyond that, what are you guys going to do to increase that involvement?
Start? Yes. All right. I'm going to annoy everybody in the SGA. My idea and the way I really intend to get this involved is every 2 to 3 days get in touch with every member on my government and basically ask 3 overarching questions. How do you feel about what you're hearing? What do you have for me in terms of that, and what can we do to make a difference? I want to be the kind of president that listens and takes advice from others in order to help make a better decision. I want to be that kind of leader. The second part of that, of course, though, is getting the links between the SGA and the students. Like you mentioned, a lot of people don't even know the names of their representatives. One of the first things I want to do is get more awareness out there. Say, yes, this is this person, this is their number, and encourage that speech. But one of the things, even as I've gone on this campaign, I've realized is that a lot of the time you actually have to go like door to door to get people's attention and get them interested. And that is definitely something I'm not afraid to do, is try and meet the student at their level to show them the opportunities they can help with and the difference that they can make.
I'm very excited for the time that we're in at King. I think that, as you saw at the protests and the prayer rallies, there are students who are coming out of the woodwork to get involved in. It's a great time to be at King. And like he was saying, as far as Senate goes, I think the Senate is so underutilized right now. There are leaders that are naturally rise to the top and are naturally going to want to get involved in this, because this is a changing time. And I want those leaders to be empowered to come up with their own decisions and to hold me accountable and for me to hold them accountable. I believe that the Senate should be held to a higher responsibility than they currently are. I think that they should be at all meetings and attending. I think that they should be taking notes. And I think that we should be publishing all our notes at all times. I want to fully utilize the SGA Facebook page, making sure that everything that we discuss is on that Facebook page and that anybody who's not in SGA can access that at any time. As well, like he was mentioning, people don't know their senators. We had talked about having meet and greets with your senators, putting them up in the food court, in the dining hall, meeting them for the day, talking with them, getting them face to face with their actual crowd, with their class, so you can put a name with a face, not just a list or roster of people anymore. Really getting that personal attention.
One thing that struck me is Don says that you were both commuters, and I find that very interesting because that was never the case when I was here. That was never the case that the two candidates were both commuters. So how can you as commuters appeal to not only people like yourselves, commuters, coming to King, but how can you also work with students on campus?
So, as I mentioned before, I was a resident my freshman year, and then, like a lot of residents do, they move off campus as you progress on. And I think that gives me a unique kind of look at how things are going on this campus. I wanted that feel of unity when I came here, and what I found was there's a stark division between residents and commuters. There's no real interaction between the two, whether events are planned to whether they're not commuter friendly or, things, the timing is off. And I think that barrier needs to be bridged, that there needs to be a place for more commuters to come. Not that the King's Den is not a great place. I think the King's Den is awesome and that it's a great place for commuters to come. But I'm excited to see what commuters have to say. From my point of view now, I know living off campus for 2 years what I wish I could do more on campus. I wish I could go to more events that weren't later at night. I wish that more events weren't catered to the residents, weren't in the residence halls. And I want commuters to have a passion for their campus as well. Even though it's a transient relationship that they have, I want them to get involved on campus and be passionate as well.
I've always considered myself sort of the residential commuter, because I've been in the same house for 18 years, and I'm the only house that can say that it lives next door to First Presbyterian Church up here next to the baseball diamond. So I've been close enough I could just walk to school every day. It takes about 15 minutes to get here from my house if I'm walking from the baseball diamonds. So I'm on campus about as often as a residential, and I'm close enough I could be considered one if I was arrogant enough. To me, I have to agree with Lauren, it's kind of unfair seeing how, all the residentials get this opportunity, but at the same time, the commuters do have it pretty good right now. We did get salsaritas recently. I like the salsaritas a lot. I do want to see a better integration, though. I mean, as a commuter myself, I can sort of see where that wall of exclusion comes in. But at the same time, we are really growing in numbers now. I mean, a former residential, now a commuter. And I have several friends here who were residential, and they're commuters as well. We're growing in numbers, and we're starting to represent the majority of the campus. So a lot of this is sort of saying, how do we maintain that balance? How do we sort of keep everyone involved? And to me, it's, again, meeting them on their levels. Trying to encourage people that, yes, this is a great place to be.
All right.
I was.
I'm sorry. Okay. As long as you're cool with that.
Yeah. With the growing number of commuters, are you going to
address? It's a sign that the dorm life, the residential life, is definitely dwindling. How would you address restoring King's campus to kind of restore King's student life?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's mine. I'm trying to think of a good answer. One of the elements of that is giving commuters a reason to come in. Yeah, we're growing in numbers, and yes, I still have several friends who are enlisting, but they aren't as many as there were freshman year. I understand that. Really just trying to maintain that interest. A lot of us who are commuters have jobs as well. I have a job. I work at the local movie theater at Exit 7. And I don't give any hours there during the school year, but at the same time, it's a job that takes up quite a huge chunk of my time. And a lot of commuters here have that kind of a setup. You know, we all aren't here necessarily on someone else's ticket. We have to make it on our own. It's unfortunate, but it's fact.
Well, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
maybe I wasn't clear. How are you going to sort of restore balance to commuters and residential? Where as a student, I see that more residentials are just waiting for the chance to get off campus because living conditions are so bad. How are you going to address living conditions if you're president?
A lot of that is taking the concerns of those who are on campus and have those concerns with Liston to maintenance and to the humanities and to the trustees. So we're saying, here's what we feel right now. This is a lot of what's going on. It's part of the really grand scheme of what's going on here. You know, the Oval has bricks that I trip on daily. We have a building that's known as the Falling Apart Building. And yeah, Liston, bless Liston. Yeah, that's one of the first things I'd start actually, personally, is saying, okay, what can we do about trying to restore living conditions here? Let's give the students a reason to stay.
So I mean, my budget is not $1 million, and I cannot blow up every building and start from the beginning, and nor would I want to. I think that, you know, our campus is beautiful in that historical aspect. But I think I have a unique opportunity. I've already made connections with alumni, and that is where the money's going to come from, is giving. I've had alumni reach out to